रघुपते हृदये अस्मदीये सत्यं वदामि च भवान् अखिलान्तरात्मा भक्तिं प्रयच्छ रघुपुङ्गव निर्भरां मे कामादिदोषरहितं कुरु मानसञ्च Oti Shanti Shanti. O God, I tell you the truth, I have no other desire, and you, being the innermost self of all beings, know it very well. O God, give me the ardent devotion only, and make my mind free from all impurities like passion, etc. Om, peace, peace, peace. A very good evening to all. We are happy to be present here again with the reading from the Bhakti Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji was speaking about the incarnate teachers and incarnation. And why incarnations come? Swamiji is telling that God understands human failings and becomes man to do good to humanity. That is why He incarnates. He understands our shortcomings to make us eligible to reach the goal in this life. God comes and sets example before us so that we see something concrete and understand. And accordingly we can progress, we can follow, we can pursue that path as taught by the teacher who is none other than God. And there are incarnate teachers, incarnations of God, and general ordinary teachers are also there who have perfected themselves and becomes the source of inspiration and teacher for others. That is why Swamiji was telling in the Gita, Bhagavan said that Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, whenever virtue subsides and wickedness prevails, I manifest myself to establish virtue, to destroy evil, to save the good. I come from yuga, age to age, yuga to yuga, I come. And in the Chandi also we find Ma Durga, after destroying the Asuras, is telling, when worshipped by the Devas, then Ma Durga in the Chandi is also telling, yes, Ithang yada jada vadha danavattha bhavishyati tada tada avatirjaham karishe arishamsham. I will again come if these evil forces, Asuras, Danavas, demoniac forces, they raise their hood and disturb others, disturb the balance, ecosystem. We tell why nowadays so many calamities. This whole world is now concerned about this. How to maintain this nature as it is. Too much we have been threatening and disturbing the all the systems in the whole world as created by God. We are trying to achieve something, some gain, materialistic gain, and destroying nature. Now scientists, those who are very thoughtful people, they say, no, you cannot do in this way. You must maintain some balance, otherwise there will be imbalance. So if the evil forces raise again its hood, then I will again come and Arishankshara, I will destroy them. But at the same time, Bhagavan Swamiji is mentioning, who understands that God has incarnated, that He is a holy man, that He is a Brahmogani, that He knows I can accept somebody as teacher, guru. How ordinary people can recognize? Because these gurus, these incarnations also, they live the same ordinary life, common life, like the common people. They So avajananti mang mura manusing tanumasritam param bhavama janantam mama bhute mahasharam. Fools deride me who have assumed the human form without knowing my real nature as the Lord of the universe. That was the declaration by Sri Krishna in the Gita. Although incarnation comes, but how many people understand? All the holy people are there in the society, but we recognize evil in others, but we do not like to recognize good in others. If somebody says he is a very good man, no, he is not, that is it. We always try to criticize and find fault with others. So there are so many problems in our minds, and we create, even though good people are there, we cannot understand, we cannot recognize. But when God comes, Sri Ramakrishna says that when a huge tidal wave comes, God incarnates as the avatar. Sri Ramakrishna says all the little brooks and ditches become full to the brim without any effort or consciousness on their own part. So when an incarnation comes, a tidal wave of spirituality breaks upon the world, and people feel spirituality almost full in the air. So that is also there. So many people become, when Buddha came, when Jesus came, when Sri Krishna came, when Jesus Christ came, when Sri Ramakrishna came. Sri Ramakrishna, although recent, Swami Vivekananda, but people all over the world become inspired. Many people in those days, they did not see Vivekananda. After 30 years, when Romarola, the French Nobel laureate, was reading Swamiji's inspiring books, words, Swamiji's complete works, whatever works were published at that time, in those days, he himself is telling, oh God, what electrical shock I get, inspiration I get when I read these words. Even after 30 years, Swami Vivekananda delivered these words in 1893. And after 30 years, when I touch his words, means I read Swami Vivekananda's words, inspiring words, I feel a kind of electric current in my blood, in my understanding, in my thoughts. What effect it created when the hero directly issuing the words from his lips. So people become inspired, and Sri Ramakrishna says when God comes, it is like the flood. If tidal waves are there, huge tidal wave, all the brooks and ditches become full of water. It is not that themselves are trying to fill themselves, but nature is that the whole world become spiritually surcharged and encouraged, inspired to take up something higher, to achieve the spiritual goal. That is the impact of the incarnation. So we read up to this, and Swamiji, we are starting a new section. The mantra, Om, word and wisdom. Why Avatara comes, why the Guru comes, why we need it, that we need the guidance. How to purify our mind. That is what we call mantra. Mananat trayate iti mantra. Is if we think of in our mind, then we will be relieved, we will be liberated. That is mantra. By repeating which, we purify our mind and we become enlightened, and that is called mantra. And Swamiji is telling that this mantra, how it has come, it is sound. But we are now considering not those Mahapurushas, the great incarnations, but only the Siddha Gurus, teachers who have attained the goal. They, as a rule, have to convey the germs of spiritual wisdom to the disciple by means of words, mantras, to be meditated upon. Our Vedas, Upanishads are called Shruti. Shruti means the disciples in those days, there are no books. The Guru is there, Guru reciting and telling something. In the instructions, Guru's experiences. Those are the spiritual instructions for the seekers of truth, for the disciples. And disciples were also repeating the same. That is what is called Shruti. Means you are listening to it, hearing, Shravana. And in the scripture it is said how we can become enlightened. First is Shravana, Manana, Nididhashit. Srotabhya, Mantabhya, Nididhashitabhya. So first you have to hear it from the perfected one, from the Guru, who knows the path, who knows the truth, who knows the reality, who achieved it, who experienced it in his or her life. Then what you will do? First you hear, listen to mantabha. Now you think deeply. What, is there any reason what he is telling? In the beginning, Narendranath, even in the gospel, A.M., the recorder of the gospel, was telling, yes, I also argued with him. Sir, this also happens if somebody worships in an idol. People, they should be taught that this is not God. God is not in this idol. So they should be. And then Sri Ramakrishna was telling, why the idol of a stone, image of stone, it is image of spirit. So in the beginning, A.M. was telling, he also tried to convince Sri Ramakrishna that what Sri Ramakrishna was telling was not 100% correct. Then gradually A.M. himself is telling that writing, it is in the gospel. Now I understand, I cannot argue with this man. What he says, it has its merit, it has its sense. I cannot just give it up and throw it away. It appeals the mind and it has its reason, logic. So, this what Guru says through his experiences from the teacher, student also gradually, they imbibe all those ideas and then think. Shrotabha, Mantabha, thinking what Guru has said. Does it has it relevance? Is it possible? Is it natural? Is it or something? It is not. It is impossible. So, after Mantabha comes Nididhashitabha, then deep meditation. Through deep meditation on the subject, on the mantra given by the Guru, so one, the seeker of the truth, he or she becomes enlightened gradually at the end. Yes, what has Guru has said, yes, it is. Vivekananda is telling, did I believe in the form of God? He used to come to Dakshineshwar, but never ever would enter into the Kali temple or any temple to make pranams to the different forms of gods and goddesses. He loved Sri Ramakrishna, he used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. What Sri Ramakrishna was telling, he would listen to that, he would say something, he would sing some bhajans, even he would not sing any Ma Kali's bhajan because he doesn't know it. His thought was that ultimate reality is not personal, it is impersonal, formless aspect of that ultimate reality. Yes, there is a power, but it can take a form, it can incarnate himself, it can come, embody itself. Like a human being, it can live. That was not believed. Even if people see it, still there is doubt. So, there is Nididhashitabha, meditation, deep meditation, through that comes enlightenment, that highest experience. So Swamiji is telling that is called mantra. This comes as a rule. They have to convey the germs. These teachers have to convey the germs of spiritual wisdom to the disciple by means of words, mantras. How this can come from the Guru, from the teacher to the taught, to the disciple as mantra. And mantras are a kind of formula. It is. It has its seed, it has its spiritual potency, power. And about the mantra, Swami Bhuteswarananda Maharaj, I am reading from his books, this initiation about the mantra. Potency of mantra, he says, through this living contact, the mantras become mantra becomes more powerful. It is to preserve this power that our scriptures enjoin a kind of secrecy on the part of the disciples and lay down rigorous punishments for those who infringe this rule. Of course, the purpose of this is just to prevent people from taking mantras lightly or frivolously. One must take the mantras very seriously. One should not experiment with them. They are very important in our lives when we try to devote ourselves to the realization of God. We must know that it cannot be done in a light-hearted manner. The Guru transmits not only the mantras but also the knowledge that he has derived through personal experience or through the experience of the teachers of that line, and is therefore competent to teach the disciple in the right manner. Another point comes to my mind in this connection. There are innumerable mantras. If they are all placed before us, we will get confused as to which ones are to be accepted and which ones are to be rejected. To remove such a confusion, the best principle would be to follow the dictates of a competent person who has direct knowledge of them. That person is the Guru. Each and everyone cannot become Guru. There Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, Guru mile lakhe lakh, chala na mile ek. The disciple is very rare to get, ideal disciple who will follow to the letters, all the instructions of the Guru, to the letters the disciple will follow. Such ideal disciples are very rare. But in the society, we find so many gurus. We have said that gurus, there are so many fake gurus also. They claim something, there is no connection with spiritual life. They want to gain name, fame, money, recognition, something in the name of religion. But the real gurus do not have anything about that. So that person is Guru who can transmit this spiritual knowledge through the mantra to the disciple. Mantras are symbolic representation of divinity, God in the form of revealed words. There are instances of devotees mystically experiencing God in the form of an effulgent diagram or in the form of the luminous letters of the mantra. This is, of course, an example of a mystic experience, and religion is full of such mystic expressions. We cannot always justify rationally these experiences which transcend reason. We cannot prove to the uninitiated people of the world that these experiences are real. In the Bible, Jesus is telling, even if you come from heaven and tell who is not a believer, non-believer, that I have just come from heaven and Father is there in the heaven, they will not believe. They will say, hey, this is a fake one, fraud. Who can go to the heaven and come back walking? So they believe that there is a heaven something, but they will not believe that there is a God also. Ego is such. They will say, no, you are a fake one. The image of God may be a material idol, or God may be expressed through a word or a symbol, and such experiences are absolutely necessary in order to attain God realization. The human mind can conceive reality only through forms. It cannot conceive the formless. In the Gospel, when M, recorder of the Gospel, he was a headmaster in 2 schools in those days, very highly educated in Eastern and Western philosophies and religious books, scriptures he read, but he was not a realized soul. So Sri Ramakrishna said, what do you believe in? The aspect of God, formless? Or he said, no, formless aspect. I don't believe in forms. Then M, after 6 months, Master was asking, yes, my dear, you are doing spiritual practices? Yes. What is your experience? No, I cannot fix my mind in the formless. And at the same time, simultaneously, I cannot think of any form also. That is also I am not trained. So he was spending the time in the company of God himself, but still there was doubt that what Sri Ramakrishna was telling, that formless aspect is okay, that is right, you are right. But you know that equally the God with form is equally correct and real and genuine. Don't say that God cannot take any form. God is not our slaves. That what we think and God has to think in that way according to our thought. We think God is formless, so God has to be formless. We think God is only, can be seen in this form, and God has to take only that form. God cannot take any other form. We are not limiting God according to our smallness, narrowness of mind. So, when Master was asking, what about your spiritual practice? Do you meditate? I meditate, but I am not able to concentrate my mind neither on the formless aspect, which I boasted, I believe in formless aspect. That also is not getting concentrated mind. How can you concentrate on something formless without the preparation? And simultaneously, I cannot concentrate on any form also because I have not been initiated in that way. Then he was desirous of initiation from Sri Ramakrishna, and then Sri Ramakrishna initiated him. He said, all right, I will give you your Ishtadeva. I will give you the mantra so that you get joy, peace, bliss in this life and realize achieve the goal of human life. So, ego works in such a way that even God himself is with us. We do not understand that he is God, he is incarnation. So, the human mind can conceive reality only through forms. It cannot conceive the formless. We boast, I believe in formless aspect. It is very easy to say. But it is not that easy really to understand and experience. So, through form, we go beyond the formlessness. Through the experiences of the forms, we experience the another aspect, formless aspect of that ultimate reality also. Otherwise, if in the beginning someone tries with the formless, generally it happens that it cannot achieve that. And it is cheating one's own self and cheating others also. And it is a wastage of this precious human birth. It may be asked, have we to remain bound by forms forever? No, we did not. Through the forms, we reach the formless. We can never reach the formless all of a sudden or directly without transforming present state of mind. In the beginning, our mind cannot think in any way except through forms or symbols. So, a symbol is absolutely necessary for spiritual practice, and the mantras are symbols representing divinity. If we love a particular aspect of God represented in a particular image, we do not like the image to be maimed or deformed. Similarly, the mantra is to be repeated as it is, without introducing any changes. Further, we have to adhere to a single method of practice for the sake of concentration. So, in our scripture it is that first you listen from the Guru, Shrotavya, then Mantavya. You think that what Guru is telling, is it possible? Is there any logic there? Reason there? Is it rational, or it is something impossible and irrational? And then when you have faith in Guru, once you have accepted, believe in the words of Guru and give your life for that. Swami Vivekananda is telling that make it your life. Think of it, dream of it, whole day and night. If you remain absorbed in the object of your meditation, on your aim, goal, what Guru has asked you to do, then you must have enlightenment. It will come, as it is told by the rishis and munis who never lied, who never said anything which they did not experience. So that is the wonderful of the impact of the mantra. If the disciple is sincere, and if it is done as per the following the instructions of the Guru, then the final result, fruit, it will bear. So about this mantras, now Swamiji is trying to say that the original first mantra is Om. Swamiji is trying to establish that. There are so many mantras, as I did, every God's names are mantras, but it has to be taken in that way. In the Gita, last chapter, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, I have spoken all these things to you, but you don't share it with others, to the non-believers, to those who do not have done any service, who do not believe in my Godhood. Even though it is equally true to them, but they will not believe. So mantras, what are these mantras? The whole of this universe has, according to Indian philosophy, both name and form, nama and rupa, as its conditions of manifestation. Whatever we see, it must have a name and it must have a form. The whole of this universe has, according to Indian philosophy, both name and form, nama and rupa, as its conditions of manifestation. If something is manifested, it must have a form, and abhyakta, unmanifested, and vyakta, manifested. This vyakta we see. God unmanifested, that is formless. God manifested, that is God with form. In the human microcosm, there cannot be a single wave in the mind stuff. In the chitta, there cannot be any chitta vritti, unconditioned by name and form. If it be true that nature is built throughout on the same plan, this kind of conditioning by name and form must also be the plan of the building of the whole of the cosmos. Yatha ekena mritpindena sarvang mrinmayam vigatang syat. As one lump of clay being known, all things of clay are known. Swami Vivekananda once was doing deep meditation by the side of a bank of a river near Almora, and there one tree was there. Swamiji was sitting, and after deep meditation, Swamiji that day got this illumination that outside our universe, macrocosm, and what the world in our mind, microcosm, they are being conducted on the same principle. Swamiji wrote in his diary, today I had this experience, the macrocosm and the microcosm are being, it is on the same plan, and it is being conducted in the, if one knows within, one knows without. If I know a lump of soil, lump of clay, if I know, then I know the whole world of clay, wherever it however big mass it may be. But I know this is also clay, that is also clay. So microcosm and macrocosm must lead to the knowledge of the macrocosm. This microcosm must lead to the knowledge of the macrocosm. Now, form is the outer crust of which the name or the idea is the inner essence or kernel. Form is the outer crust of which the name or the idea is the inner essence or kernel. If we see anything, outside it is form and inside it's name. Name means an idea. The body is the form and the mind or the antakarana is the name. And sound symbols are universally associated with the Namo name in all beings having the power of speech. In the individual man, the thought waves rising in the limited Mahat or Chitta mind stuff must manifest themselves first as words and then as the more concrete forms. First we think of this name and then we understand, we see the form also. Everything has this mixture of this form and name. Name is the idea and form is the concrete one. So anything we find in this universe, it has its name and form. And how it works, Swamiji is giving that anything, the body is the form and the mind or the antakarana is the name, and sound symbols are, Om is a sound symbol. Sound symbols are universally associated with Namo, name, in all beings having the power of speech. In the individual man, the thought waves rising in the limited Mahat or the Chitta, mind stuff, must manifest themselves first as words. Anything happens in our mind, first how it manifests as words, and then it has a concrete form. In the universe, Brahma or Hiranyagarbha or the cosmic Mahat first manifested himself as name and then as form. That is as this universe. All this expressed sensible universe is the form behind which stands the eternal, inexpressible sphoto, the manifester as logos or word. This eternal sphoto, the essential eternal material of all ideals or names, is the power through which the Lord creates the universe. Nay, the Lord first becomes conditioned as the sphoto, that sound, and then evolves himself out as the yet more concrete, sensible universe. This photo has one word as its only possible symbol, and this is the Om. Sphoto is just that breaking forth, bursting, splitting open. The idea, sphoto is that idea which bursts out or flashes on the mind when a sound is uttered. The impression produced on the mind at hearings a sound, the eternal sound recognized, that is called sphoto. And that ultimate reality is first is one sound, and then we see it's manifested in the whole universe. And that first sound that can identify, express that ultimate reality is Om. Brahmanada, it is called Brahmanada. So, the Lord first becomes conditioned as the sphoto, sound, and then evolves himself as the out as the yet more concrete, sensible universe. This sphoto has one word as its only possible symbol. What can this ultimate reality be expressed in sound? And that is only Om. And this is the Om. And as by no possible means of analysis can we separate the word from the idea, this Om and the eternal sphoto are inseparable. God and God's name, Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, God and God's name is inseparable. Nam and this, whose name we are taking, God. These are always identical. You cannot separate the Nam and Nami. In Bengali he used to speak. So, whenever in this room we have got one form, if somebody shows me who is he will give. If somebody shows another Swami, he will give. If two Swamis are there, you call one Swami's name, that Swami only will respond. And all others also will understand. So, this is there from the birth we understand that there is the name, sound, and then the form. And that ultimate reality can only be expressed, if it is possible at all, to symbolize, to put any symbol and express it through any sound. It is Om, A, Gu, Ma. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, it is not an ordinary sound word. It is Om. The whole alphabet A to Z is there almost. It is coming from the Nada Brahma. It starts from the navel, Om, covering all the system, this guttural, palatal, all system, finally Om. It is coming, dental, taking it has its description, different type of this. Those who are expert, they know. And Sri Ramakrishna said this, this word, and we cannot hear. But rishis, munis, they say, don't you hear? It is always there in the universe. Brahmanado is going on. There is one sound always. It is going on. NASA people, they have, through their very sophisticated equipments, they have found it. They have heard that, yes, there is a Brahmanada going on 24 hours in the whole universe, and that sound is, it is identical with the scriptures of the Vedic. Their sound is going on. We ordinary people, we do not hear it. But those who are spiritually advanced, they say, yes, their sound is there. That is going on eternally. And as by no possible means of analysis can we separate the word from the idea, this Om and the eternal photo are inseparable, and therefore it is out of this holiest of all holy words, the mother of all names and forms, the eternal Om, that the whole universe may be supposed to have been created. The whole universe have been created out of this Om. This is the first sound, and sound is taking the form. Form comes later, sound comes first in our mind, and in that mind, the mind of that Mahat, that mind of that eternal, Ekaham Bahu Swami, that thought came, I am alone, I am one, I like to manifest myself, I like to be many. So the whole creation has taken place, the whole universe. First is the idea, sound, form. And these are all associated, name and form. That sound, if somebody says water, water and this physical form and water, its name, are associated. We cannot think water without the water, and we cannot say water without the sound of the water. Name and form are identical, always it is together going on. And it is again I read, very important thing. The whole creation is out of that the mother of all names, this, all holy words. Therefore, it is out of this holiest of all holy words, Om, the mother of all names and forms, the eternal Om, that the whole universe may be supposed to have been created. This also we think. Who knows what happened? There is a song, this, the Mundamala Kothai Peli, there is a Kali song. Brahmanda chilona jokhon Mundamala Kothai Peli. Oh, my dear mother, divine mother, you are the primordial energy, everything has been created. Then where from, when there was no creation, where from you got, you are decorated with the heads of this korotis, human korotis. How could you get it? Mother Kali's form is there. It is meditated on in that way. How could you have that garland of this human heads, these korotis? So there is a song. the Om, that the whole universe may be supposed to have been created. But it may be said that although thought and word are inseparable, yet as there may be various word symbols for the same thought, it is not necessary that this particular word Om should be the word representative of the thought out of which the universe has become manifested. To this objection we reply that this Om is the only possible symbol which covers the whole ground and there is none other like it. The Sphoto is the material of all worlds, yet it is not any definite word in its fully formed state. That is to say, if all the peculiarities which distinguish one word from another be removed, then what remains will be the Sphoto. Therefore, this Sphoto is called the Nada Brahma, the sound Brahman. This Nada Brahma. If that ultimate reality could be expressed in any sound, then that sound will be no other sound. You give up all sound and finally you come that only one sound remains, that is the mother of all sounds, Om. And that is why it is called sound Brahman, Nada Brahman. Now, as every word symbol intended to express the inexpressible Sphoto will so particularize it that it will no longer be the Sphoto. That symbol which particularizes it the least and at the same time most approximately expresses its nature will be the truest symbol thereof, and this is the Om, and the Om only, because these three letters O, Ma, Om, pronounced in combination as Om, may well be the generalized symbol of all possible sounds. This Om may well be the generalized symbol of all possible sounds. Mother of all possible sounds is Om. The letter A is the least differentiated of all sounds. Therefore, Krishna says in the Gita, Aksharanam akarosmi. I am A, among the letters. Again, all articulate sounds are produced in the space within the mouth, beginning with the root of the tongue and ending in the lips. The throat sound is A, and M is the last lip sound, and the U exactly represents the rolling forward of the impulse which begins at the root of the tongue till it ends in the lips. If properly pronounced, this Om will represent the whole phenomena of sound production, and no other word can do this, and this, therefore, is the fittest symbol of the Sphoto, which is the real meaning of the Om. And as the symbol can never be separated from the thing signified, the Om and the Sphoto are one. And as the Sphoto, being the finer side of the manifested universe, is nearer to God and is indeed the first manifestation of divine wisdom, this Om is truly symbolic of God. Again, just as the one only Brahman, the Akhanda Satchidananda, the undivided existence, knowledge, bliss, can be conceived by imperfect human souls only from particular standpoints and associated with particular qualities. So this universe, his body, has also to be thought of along the line of the thinker's mind. This direction of the worshipper's mind is guided by its prevailing elements or tattvas, the result is that the same God will be seen in various manifestations as the possessor of various predominant qualities, and the same universe will appear as full of manifold forms, even as in the case of the least differentiated and the most universal symbol Om, thought and sound symbol are seen to be inseparably associated with each other. So also this law of their inseparable association applies to the many differentiated views of God and the universe. Each of them therefore must have a particular word symbol to express it. These word symbols evolved out of the deepest spiritual perception of sages symbolize and express as nearly as possible the particular view of God and the universe they stand for. And as the Om represents the Akhanda, the undifferentiated Brahman, the others represent the Khanda or the differentiated views of the same being, and they are all helpful to divine meditation and the acquisition of the true knowledge. So very philosophical and deep ideas are there. This Swamiji wants to say that ultimate reality can be expressed if any sound, and if name it is Om, which is this existence, bliss, consciousness absolute, knowledge, bliss, existence absolute, and the sound is Om, and that according to our mind, our capacities, our limitations are there. We will try to understand things in different way according to our understanding. God is there, but different people are attracted in different forms. This Ramachandraji, when asked, how do you think of me? What form you like to see me? In what form you like to see me? Hanuman? Hanuman is telling, Srinathe Janakinathe Abheda Paramatmani Tathapi Mama Sarvasya Rama Kamalalochana. I know that Lakshmi's husband Narayana and Sita's husband you, Ramchandra, are identical and the same. Same Narayana is incarnated in this Treta Yuga as Ramachandra. And same Tattva principle incarnated in Dwapar Yuga is, in the Dwapara, is as Sri Krishna. I know that. He is telling that I know Ramachandra and Narayana are identical. Still, I want to see you in this form. I like to meditate on you in this Janaki, this Natha, in this form. Lotus-eyed Ramachandra. Srinath Janaki-nath Abheda Paramatmani Tathapi Mama Sarvasya Rama Kamalalochana. I want to see you in this form. So, God, I told that He can be many, mantras can be many, which is fit for somebody. I like to meditate on Shiva form. Shiva name is very dear to me. Somebody may like Krishna form, somebody may like Jesus form, somebody may like Buddha name, somebody may like Om, somebody may like something else. There is a mantra as we do before sannyasa. There, when you are given sacred thread, this mantra is a Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurvuvassa Tatsavitur Varennam Bhargadevassa Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayatu. This mantra is there. So it is called mantra Raja. The Raja means king, king of all mantras. So Om is the basis, mother of all mantras, all sounds, all anything. And that is the only first word, first sound that can express the ultimate reality. And after that also, since God has taken so many forms, so many other names are also mantras. Krishna mantra, Ram mantra. These Vaishnavas, they give Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is another Krishna mantra, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Ram mantra. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. So there are so many mantras are there. If you have faith, if you have that deep faith and conviction that that form and that name suits you, you love to see, meditate on that form. As Hanumanji is telling, no hypocrisy. Yes, I know the ultimate reality, but still I like to meditate on you. Sri Ramakrishna is telling. Sri Ramakrishna, about this mantra japam, wonderful ideas are there. Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there, Sri Ramakrishna is telling about Chaitanya Dev. Chaitanya used to shed tears of joy at the very mention of Krishna's name. God alone is the real substance, all else is illusory. Man can realize God if he wants to, but he madly craves the enjoyments of the lust and goal. Bhakti is the one essential thing. Who can ever know God through reasoning? I want love of God. I don't like to remain always in your reasoning. God is formless. Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, for philosophical understanding you read that. But we like to see something. Oh Maharaj, you have got prasad. Oh, prasad. Prasad means grace. What is prasad? But if you give me some rasgulla, some fruits, some sweet meat, some cakes, special thing, prepared, very tasty, oh, I understand, oh, God's grace is coming through this. We enjoy it. Our mind remains in that. But if you only dry words, all right, you have prayed and God has answered your prayer, we feel not fully satisfied, contented. But if you give, yes. In many temples we find, whatever you offer, immediately they crush the coconut and some other things, and some prasad you take. Take home, you take and feel that God has accepted. Now you take the prasad. So something concrete we need to understand, to satisfy our mind. So Master is telling, who can ever know God through reasoning? I want love of God. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this another incarnate of God, predecessor of Sri Ramakrishna, he 500 years before Sri Ramakrishna's advent, he came in Bengal, and in one body Radha and Krishna both are there. That is thought in that way. Regardless of time, and I quote Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, regardless of time or place, one who chants the holy name, even while eating or sleeping, attains all perfection. God's name is so purifying, and he gave that mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra you, day and night, this is mantra. You sing, dance with that. Their mantra is that. They are getting joy in that. But I get joy in Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah. All right, no problem, you do that. I don't like Namah Shivaya, I don't like your Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. I like only Om. All right, that is also fine. No problem. Om Rama, this Valmiki who composed the Ramayana, he was a robber, a killer, a murderer, a rogue. What he did? By taking from Narada name of God, Rama mantra, he meditated Rama, 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 who could not utter even Rama first. He was so fallen that he could only utter Mora, Mora, Mora. If you put Mora, Mora, Ramo comes. You first Mo, later you leave, then Ramo, Ramo, Mora, Mora, Mora. Actually Ramo, Ramo comes. He was so sinner that his tongue was not ready to utter God's name. Then Naradji said, all right, you start talking, uttering, repeating Mora, Mora. It will form Ramo. If you leave the first Mo, then Ramo will come. So, There are so many names, so many pure names, holy names. If you take the name while eating, sleeping, attains perfection. Only we have to have that conviction, faith in ourselves, faith in the name, faith in the form, and also those who like to worship in the formlessness, formless aspect of the ultimate reality, that is also you are free to choose, no problem. But that conviction, that sincerity, that earnestness, that love of God should be there. And we continue with this wonderful nectar-like words of Swami Vivekananda in the Bhakti Yoga. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Is there any question? Online no question? Good. But devotees are very nice. They don't like to trouble us. Yes, be absorbed in God's name. What is only questioning and asking too many things and confusing and so many things. Sri Ramakrishna says, do something. Swamiji is telling, Swamiji, you lecture? Was enough lecture I have given. Now I like to see that my lecturing has borne fruits. I want to see that you would do something. So let us love God, take God's name, and purify our lives. Hari Om Tat Sat.